afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to talk about Afghanistan women and focusing on Hazara women. All of you know about at least three documents that support women progress and women participation at international level, which are the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and also CEDAW and Resolution 1325 about peace, women, and security. I brought them here because I love them and I always support them and want to follow them for Afghanistan women. First, I have a very briefing information about Afghanistan women. Women progress in Afghanistan actually started after 1920. Before 1920, Afghanistan women was individually involved in some activities like in literature, art. So we have women that there were women that they were the poet, and we have the poem from this very nice woman. And very few women were involved in some like decision making. The women were in the king families or the king wife. But after 1920, during the Shah Amanullah Khan, some reform came to Afghanistan and the systems changed. King Amanullah traveled to Europe, especially to France, and he learned the modern values and brought to Afghanistan, and he tried to make this reform in Afghanistan, especially for women. His wife, Malika Soraya, she initiated and started women involvement and also women education and women progress. From that time, women in Afghanistan have been challenging with opportunities and also barriers. So actually, all opportunities and barriers are in two categories. First is the political, and second is the cultural, with the cultural barriers within the families, and also cultural barriers within the environment, but also the political. So the phases that in the time that the women in Afghanistan supported by government were in three phases. First started during Shah Amanullah in 1926, but it was very short for 3-4 years. And then the next time or the next phase was in 1933 during the Zahir Shah. And actually that time and during Zahir Shah, and then after he was for 4 decades in Afghanistan as a king in Afghanistan. And after that followed by another 5 years of Republican government, and then the government which was backed by former Soviet Union. So during all this time, the women had a very great opportunities, access to education, and also women participation in the government on some, but was few. But the problem was that those opportunities were very limited to urban areas, and only a low percentage of population, which was probably under 25% population, were live in the urban areas. But the rest in rural areas, they didn't have access to education and to other opportunities. And the third phase is starting in 2022, from 2002 to 2021, during the presence of international community, especially the coalition force and NATO in Afghanistan. It was actually the golden time. I always say that that time was for Afghanistan, especially for women, was a golden time and an exceptional opportunities. The whole population in Afghanistan got access to education, almost the majority of people in different urban and rural and remote areas, and also civil societies and women within the civil society grew, had the development opportunities, and the women participated in government and also in the politics. But this time, unfortunately, finished in 2023 when the government collapsed. And women are prohibited by authorities in three phases. The first phase after Shah Amanullah, and then the second phase was in 1992 when civil war started in Afghanistan, and then followed by the Taliban at the first time. And the third phase, which is now, it's the current situation under Taliban de facto. So in these times now, the situation is going, unfortunately, going back or going down. Within Afghanistan, we have different ethnicities. So Afghanistan is a small society, but it is a multi-ethnic and multi-cultural society. Hazara people is one of the ethnic group in Afghanistan, but they have always been persecuted and faced to genocide, and still they are facing with a lot of crimes against humanities and even genocide by Taliban or other terrorist and radical group. So the first time in 1880s, Hazara people faced to a genocide by Abdurrahman, and then after that followed by a state-sponsored persecution. So it was difficult for them to revitalize after when 60% of Hazara people was killed by Abdurrahman. So in 1980s was actually the first time that the Hazara women got some opportunity to show them, to express them, and get access for participation. But it was very few Hazara women were involved in the middle level, not the higher level. In the middle level, also it was the time that that Afghanistan was in war with Soviet Union, and because of the war, people left Afghanistan and immigrated to neighboring countries. So in the refugee status, they got some opportunities for to develop or to have to education, and also to establish non-governmental organizations. And one of the woman, Hazara woman, she established a non-governmental organization in Pakistan. Dr. Sima Samar, probably you know about her, and she worked for education and health for refugees in Pakistan. But then, after 1990, during 1993, when civil war started in Kabul, I was a new graduate and a young doctor in medical hospital in Kabul, and we had to leave Kabul because of the civil war, and I went to the north, and then beside my career, I started activities for women progress, because for women, actually women empowerment, because the women in Kabul were the victim of the war. Some women were killed, and also especially the Hazara communities, and also they were gone under sexual assault. So I try to help the women and prevent them from being a victim. And then I with some other women discussed, and we started a women association in Mazar Sharif in 1993. It was end of 1993. It started for education, and so the first Hazara women organization established in Mazar Sharif at that time, and then another was in then we went to Bamiyan and established another women committee there, and also women at the refugee in Iran and Pakistan. They established associations. So actually, this Hazara women involved in civil societies since 1993 and 1994. And we mostly focused on education and some also political participation, health, and supporting for economic empowerment. Here, this is the model for dividing the women progress in 3 periods, from 1993 to 1998 in the north of Afghanistan and also in Bamiyan, and then from 2002 to 2021 in the whole Afghanistan, especially in Kabul and in the north of Afghanistan and central Afghanistan, and now the current situation, which is no right for women. Currently, women are prohibited from their essential rights. They're prohibited from education. They're prohibited from having an occupation, and they cannot move outside without mahram, mahram is someone from families like husband or father or brother. Recently in January, the Taliban started a campaign to arrest girls and women under excuse of hijab, and mostly they targeted Hazara women and also Tajik women. Like more than 100 girls and young women were arrested under name of improper hijab. So I personally talked with at least 20 women who are released after arrest, and they talked about very horrible histories, what happened to them when they arrested and when they imprisoned. So the current situation is a down situation for women, and I hope that they get the opportunity to return back to their stage where they were in 2020. These are some pictures from activities we started in 1997 and 1998 in Bamiyan. When I traveled to Bamiyan and started Women Committee, this was actually the first celebration of International Women's Day there in Bamiyan. It was in 1998. And also that day, women protested against the Taliban. The Taliban were in Kabul, and the women protested in front of United Nations office in Bamiyan. These are also from 1997 and 98, the women and the girls, and also there was health campaign and vaccination, immunization campaign, which was supported by United Nations programs by WHO and UNICEF, and also UNICEF office. She is actually the head of UNICEF office. She was in Bamiyan. And also there was some meeting with different groups for mobilization in health and also vaccination. These are some pictures from from 2005 in different stages. These are for a school, and this is another midwifery school. It's a skill lab for midwifery school. And the another picture was I was presenting the National Reproductive Health Strategy in 2005 because Afghanistan was one of the country had a higher rate of maternal mortality ratio, and I was written my thesis regarding high maternal mortality in Afghanistan in 2024 in Belgium, and then it was reflected in national strategy, and it had a very good impact and output and also impact. The Hazara women got opportunities after 2002 for education and also involvement in the government as a vice president and as ministers and governor and also mayor, deputy minister, and also some women worked on the middle level, and also a young generation got many opportunities in education. Also in sport and clubs, so this is the picture of Zakia Khodadodi. She received a medal. She was in a sport. I forgot which part
taekwondo.
of this.
Taekwondo.
Yeah, probably it's some.
It's taekwondo.
Yeah.
Taekwondo.
Oh, taekwondo.
She got
Okay.
la médaille d'or européenne. Taekwondo.
Like Zakia Khodadodi, there are also some other girls. They received medals and awards. Actually, the Hazara people after 2022, especially women, advocating and promoting for democratic values, human rights, women's rights, and also peace. They also widely participated in elections and several elections that happened during that 2 decades. So I just highlighted some barriers and opportunities in the 3 phases that women had. In 1990s, we had a very limited access to opportunities. There was, at the Civil War times, there was no central government, or there was no legitimate government there, and 75% population lived in rural areas, but there was no infrastructure. There was lack of basic infrastructure in the rural areas. But one thing, we had a motivation, and we just started our actions without any written document. We had just a very simple 2-page something like a statute, but nothing was there like a strategic planning, and we didn't evaluate the opportunities or our weakness or the threat that Afghanistan or women faced. But the time, that time was very short, but it impacted on people, especially the cultural behavior changed, because before the Civil War and before our activities, most of the families didn't allow their girls to go to school. But after that, the people realized, and that cultural barriers actually broken at that time. And then after 2002, most of the families supported their girls, their daughters to go to school. In 2002 and 2021, an international community was in Afghanistan, and a lawful government and a lot of opportunities at the rural and urban areas, and also the development process was relatively decentralized, so the people got more opportunities for changing. But one of the problems that we had, that there was a lack of women's solidarity and a feministic movement for women freedom in Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is very, it is like different ethnics, and those things also affected the women movement. After 2021, at this situation, that is not a good situation for all people, especially for women, and Afghanistan in a crisis. And I hope that we are going back and make some changes in Afghanistan. Also, we started a women global movement, Hazara Women Global Movement, for women solidarity, and also to have an achievement for sustainable peace and development. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mesdames et messieurs, juste je fais un résumé. J'en ai parlé un peu tout à l'heure, un peu de...
Simplement, oui. Aspect historique sur la situation de Hazara,
voilà.
Et au niveau,
voilà.
Comme il a indiqué,
oui,
sa situation, la situation ethnique, langage, et aussi des relations avec Tadjikistan et l'Iran.
Surtout, en fait, il a parlé de l'historique et la liberté que les femmes avaient. Première période, c'était la période le roi Amon-Lahan entre 1919 et 1929, où on avait la liberté de faire des études, et puis là on voyait, comme je l'ai dit, des étudiantes, filles et garçons en Europe. Pour la progression. La deuxième partie, c'était à l'époque de roi Zahir Shah, qui a duré 40 ans, c'est de 1933 jusqu'à 1973. Là, on avait la liberté, on a le mouvement, l'action, etc. Et puis ensuite, l'autre partie, c'était à partir du moment où il y a eu le coup d'État de président Daoud, le cousin de Zahir Shah, c'était en 1973, où on avait aussi la liberté d'action, les femmes de faire des études et d'aller dans des postes importants. Ensuite, de 1978...
Qu'est-ce que c'est Hazara?
Oui,
est-ce qu'ils sont sous la pression ou non?
Voilà, les Hazara, il y avait, en fait c'est une ethnie, parmi les autres ethnies de l'Afghanistan, il n'y avait pas autant de pression, les pressions ont commencé beaucoup plus après, à l'époque, ce qu'il a dit comme l'évolution que j'ai citée, c'est à cette époque-là, il n'y avait pas d'oppression, l'oppression était beaucoup plus avant, à l'époque d'Abraham Lincoln, dont il a parlé, c'était un autre roi. Alors, donc, l'oppression a commencé à partir de 1992, oui, et l'arrivée des Moudjahidines, et après il y a eu la guerre, et puis les Hazara qui ont été oppressés aussi, et puis par un certain nombre de groupes de Moudjahidines. Ensuite, l'arrivée des talibans en 1996, où l'oppression a été un peu plus forte, jusqu'à l'année 2001.
La situation aujourd'hui?
Voilà, la situation. Et aujourd'hui, donc, l'oppression a recommencé. Pas aussi fort qu'à l'époque, à la première époque des talibans, mais là, maintenant, c'est un peu plus fort qu'avant. Il est évident qu'il y a des Hazara qui travaillent, mais avec eux quand même, il y a des groupes, mais il y a quand même une oppression. Voilà en gros tout ça.
Est-ce qu'il cohabite avec le gouvernement actuel ou non?
Il y a quelques... Il y a quelques Hazara qui sont des vice-ministres, quelques-uns. Parce qu'il faut montrer que c'est un gouvernement pour l'inclusif, enfin, inclusif.
Très bien. Merci beaucoup.
Voilà. En gros, voilà, c'est ça.